Hello, everybody. We are live again. Hello, Wide, and hello, Lime. I'm hoping everything is okay. It might not be using the correct mic. That would be a little bit problem. Yeah, sometimes it switches to my webcam, which might sound really weird. Let me try this. Does that sound better? Let me play it back. That sounds better, I think. That sounds better. Yeah. Yeah, it was using my webcam mic, I believe, which is obviously not very good. Alright, I'm probably going to have to turn my lights on. I will turn my actual lights on though, not that one. Oh. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be doing a tech mod again. We're going to be doing Industria. And between the last stream and this one, I have got the alloy furnace working. So this should be fine. I actually haven't tested it because I have just changed something, but it should be fine. We're about to find out. And yeah, that works. Okay, good. That's good. So yeah, that all works, which is fantastic. So next, ideally, I would do the crusher and the solar panel and the wind turbine. But that's going to be a lot of copy pasting, which was basically the whole entire last stream. So I don't particularly want to do that. So I might do something else instead. I'm just going to check what I did before. Oh, you can't see. I still have the stream so God, I'm such a doofus. Okay. Let's get rid of that. And also you can get rid of the window capture. There we go. Okay. What I was trying to show you is that this works, which, yeah. It's an alloy furnace, so it works. And yeah, that works too now. That's good. So yeah, ideally we would obviously do kind of power gen next. We should probably do that anyways. But what I don't want to do is just copy paste everything, which is what I did in the last stream. So I'm just going to look at what I've actually added in that mod, and then we'll try and do something different. I would quite like to do like nuclear. That'd be quite cool. But I don't want to do that now, of course, because that's a lot of work. Ideally some kind of simple power gen would be nice. So we have solar, we have wind, and we have combustion. So I can add those between ideally this stream and the next one. But I don't want to add any of those in this stream because that will just be copy pasting. So we've got to come up with something else. I'm thinking possibly just something using lava. That would be pretty cool because then we can do with fluids. We can deal with fluids, which will be something different. Fluids and energy, I guess. So that would be something different. That's probably a good idea, actually. Should we do that? Oh, I also need to bring this up. This isn't right. Okay, I can't see my chat. This is unfortunate. I need to change the tokens because I think they're outdated, and to be honest, I don't remember how you do that. Yeah, there's always chat related problems. I actually, oh, here we go. There we go. So that's that one, and then I'll go YouTube. And I'll do that one. Oh, okay, it doesn't like YouTube. That's good to know. Okay, I mean, this isn't a big deal because this just means that... You know, I'll try again. Continue. Has that worked? Maybe. Okay, I think that should have worked. Basically, that just means that I'll be able to see chat on here. Ideally. I still have all of last stream's chat on here though, and I don't know how to clear that, but that's fine, I guess. So, okay. If not, I can always just look at my other monitor and see what it actually shows on stream. So that's fine. Okay, so yeah, let's do a lava generator. I don't really know what to call it. Hello? Would you like to save? Game? Okay, weird. Very weird. Thermal generator, sure. I guess that works. So we'll do that. Should be relatively simple, I hope. I probably shouldn't say that because that's probably not what it will turn out to be, but we're gonna hope. So we'll go with a thermal generator block, and that'll be a thermal generator. Sure. Yeah, sure. We'll have a lit property for now, for the time being, and that'll be fine. So let's create this thermal generator block, extends horizontal facing block, and implements the, what is it, entity, block entity provider. That's it. Add the constructor. You know what? I'm just gonna copy paste this because it's gonna be identical for the block class. So nice, and we will just change that and that, that, thermal generator, like that, and this. So thermal generator. Nice. So that's pretty much everything there. Let's quickly create the block entity as well. So that will just extend, we'll extend updatable block entity. And does that need to, that needs to implement the tickable block entity as well, doesn't it? We'll do that, and then we'll add the constructor. Block entity type. Oh, hello. And the thermal generator. And we'll just quickly go ahead and register that as well. Thermal. Oh, hello. Okay, it's being weird today. Or probably just me pressing the wrong buttons, but I'm just going to say it's being weird. Okay, good. so that should be fine if we import that. And then, yeah, that fixes that. Good. That fixes that. We still have an error in here, but I assume that's just because this doesn't implement the correct things yet. Yeah, so we need to implement extended screen handler factory. Is that it? Yes, I think that actually is it. I'm impressed. And this takes in the packet, right? So a block pos payload. Yeah, a block pos payload will be fine actually for now. That's good. So we'll just create our title. So we'll go text, title is equal text dot translatable container dot industria dot mod id thermal generator. Perfect. And we'll just return that in here. And in here we will do our thermal generator screen handler, which does that. It also needs some data, so we'll do this dot property delegate, which will create in a second. Does that also, no, it doesn't need the inventory, right? Because yeah, we calculate that. That's fine. And then this just needs to be a new block pos payload. That's fine. We're going to want to read and write as well, so we'll grab those real quick. And I think that's it. So we are going to need some ints, right? So we're going to want a... How do we want to do this? Do we want to actually have a temperature that is displayed, or do we just consume the lava? I guess that's the question. I think it's probably just easier to consume the lava, but potentially having a temperature means that it could be compatible with other mods that have fluids with a temperature. Or it could just use the temperature of the fluid, because I'm pretty sure the fluid, I actually don't know what this is in Fabric. Fluid type, is it like liquid type? No? What is fluid type called? Fluid variant? Maybe fluid variant. That's a Fabric thing though. But does this have a temperature? No. Does a fluid have a temperature? Maybe temperature is a Forge thing. In which case, that's quite unfortunate. Maybe it's in fluid block, but I doubt it. Yeah, it is not. I haven't got around to even looking at fluids in Fabric yet, so this is quite new to me. This is quite unfortunate if there is actually no temperature, which there does not seem to be. Okay. That definitely makes this a little bit more complicated then. So we are actually going to have to... See, I think this is why Fabric doesn't really have tech mods, because if you can't access a temperature of a fluid, right, if a fluid doesn't have a temperature, how do you have compatibility with mods that add fluids? The answer is you can't. The only way would be using fluid tags, but that doesn't let you supply, you know, a specific value to a key. So I guess you just hard code mod compat, but that's obviously not ideal. Okay. For now, we'll just make it work for lava. So there's no point storing a temperature, because lava is always going to be the same temperature. So what we will want is an energy storage. So we're going to have a private final simple energy storage, which will be the energy storage. And actually, I think we need to have a, what is it, a wrapped energy storage. That's it. And what does that take in? That doesn't take in anything, does it? Because then we do that in the constructor. So we should say this.energy storage.add storage and a new thinking energy storage will do. We'll pass in this, and then we'll pass in a capacity. How much capacity should this have? Let's just say, I don't know. We'll start with 10,000. No, we'll start with 50,000. And then max input, we don't want any input, but we do want output. So the output, we could say maybe 200 for now. Which isn't great, 200 FE per tick, but it will do. And then we're going to want a fluid storage as well, which I haven't actually created anything for yet. So we're going to want a wrapped fluid storage, I guess. And then we'll create this, I guess. Block entity, here we go. I'm just looking at what I already have. So I think the best thing to base this off would be the energy storage, because I would say fluids is well, not really, I guess, is it? Wait, there's a fluid variant, isn't there? Yeah, so the best thing to base this off then would be the inventory, because the inventory uses an item variant. So we can effectively use that. So let's go fluid. Just visiting to say thank you for the tutorials. Good luck with the mod. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you can find the tutorials useful. Okay, where? There it is. So let's move these into the right places. I don't know why that's not already in there, and I don't know why that's not already in there. There we go. And let's close these because we're not going to want those right this second. And instead we're going to open these so we can reference them nice and easily. So this has textends simple inventory. I don't know what Fabric has in terms of fluid tanks, and if I recall correctly, the wiki doesn't really cover it. God, let's have a look. Let's see if I can find something, maybe. No, it just talks about storing items, which obviously isn't very helpful. There's a page on creating fluids, but that's also not really that helpful. I'm going to look at that actually, just see. Maybe it does mention temperature somewhere, and I'm just not aware of where. No, it doesn't. So that's just not a thing. Okay. And yeah, what I wanted to look at was fluid item and energy transfer. Aha! They do have a page on creating a tank block entity. Okay. So effectively, you can just hold a fluid variant? Or not? Yes, so you can basically have a storage that holds a fluid variant. So I can actually bring this up, can't I? So yeah, apologies for the light mode. Blame Fabric Wiki for that. Yeah, so this just has a single variant storage holding basically a fluid variant, which, as far as I'm aware, is just a fluid type. And then, oh no, maybe that's more of like a fluid stack. I guess fluid stacks don't exist because if I remember correctly, that's a Forge thing. Yeah, fluid stack is a Forge thing. So effectively, this is a fluid stack because you have a fluid type, or the actual fluid, and then you would have the amount. And this functions as a tank because you can have a capacity. Okay. Fluid constant stop bucket. Oh, Fabric's really weird with fluids, aren't they? Am I remembering this correctly? If I remember correctly, buckets aren't 1,000. Yeah, buckets are 81,000. Right. Okay. Yeah. I remember this now. I remember this was a really controversial thing. And everyone was like, why the fuck did they do it like that? Oh, look at this. Fluid attributes. So they do have a temperature. So they have a temperature, but it's not actually assigned to anything. It's just a constant. That's useless. Why? Why? What is the point? These aren't used anywhere, right? How do you read? Fluid variant attributes. Oh. Oh, never mind. Interesting. So you can actually get a temperature from a fluid variant. I don't know why it's a constant, though. That doesn't... I mean... Sure. It's a bit weird, but sure. Okay, so... Where is this? Super... Oh, not that. God damn it. Super method. Fluid variant attribute handler. But I didn't see anything on the wiki that mentioned that. So if I go to the fluid page here, I don't think I saw anything about attributes. So you got block. So this is the actual block, right? Or something. That's the bucket. That's the tag. Oh no, this is the block. Okay. And then you set the render type. See, there's nothing about attributes in here, so how do you actually assign that? Maybe it's in Flowable. No, I don't think so. Aha. Fluid variant attributes.register. Interesting. So presuming a mod does actually register these fluid variant attributes, which I would say is unlikely, bearing in mind it's not even in the wiki, then it should work. Yeah, like if I... Yeah, it's not even mentioned here, which is stupid. I watched your entire mod playlist and can figure out how to understand how to build a sync mod. Ah, well, it's your lucky day. Because we're effectively going to be building one. I mean, not quite, but it's close enough. Yeah, so first of all, we're just going to want a tank, right? And we can deal with the rest of these. I'm not going to do the temperature madness. For the time being, we're just going to ignore that. And we'll base it off being lava, since that's the easiest to deal with. So we'll just do that. But yeah, we're effectively going to be doing a fluid tank. So if you're curious, then you can stick around for that. Okay, so this uses a T extends simple inventory. Now, I don't believe there's anything quite equivalent to that. So, like if I do simple fluid, no. So the only thing I'm thinking is there is a single fluid storage here. So I could do T extends. That's not really ideal though. So, I don't suppose there is another implementation of this, is there? So that's just a single slot storage, but what about a multi-slotted storage? So there is a full item fluid storage. Yeah, full item fluid storage. Inventory, single fluid. Oof, there is not. I mean, for our particular circumstance, that's fine. But I would like to have had something a little more abstract so that I could reuse this for something. Like, something I want to do, or will need to do at some point, is add like an electrolyzer or something that splits a fluid into, you know, two gases, right? For, you know, a bunch of shit, basically. Or even, yeah, that's the problem, which I can't really do with this. Or can I? T is going to be used in a list. So actually, as long as you don't want multiple fluids in a single tank, which I'm not sure you'd ever really want anyways, then I guess that should be fine. Sure. Okay, that's fine. So we'll do that, and then we'll implement the serializable so we can actually save this. So we'll add those methods. There we go. So we're just going to want a list of T. So let's have a private final list of T, which is going to be our, I'm just going to call this tanks. I don't care that they don't call it tanks, but I'm going to call it tanks because that just makes more sense to me. I kind of want to call it fluid tanks, but that's redundant, bearing in mind it's a fluid storage. So we'll keep it as that. And this has a list of inventory storages. But this is an inventory storage, or this is a fluid storage, so I guess we don't need that. So I'll just make that sided then. Rather than having that be a list, I'll make it a map. Sure. So we'll make that a map of direction to a T, which will be our tanks, like that. And not an array list, though. I don't know why that happened. Okay. And then we kind of ideally want a combined storage, so we can create one of those, because that should be fine. So we'll have a combined storage of type. What does this want? T, which is the stored resource, and then S, which extends the storage. So I guess that would be a fluid variant, and then T, which is the combined storage. And that takes in, oh, that actually needs a list. So tank.values is a collection. God damn you. Fine, we'll have a list. I can't be bothered to convert the collection into tank. So we'll call this a sided tank map. And then we'll have the actual tanks here. So that'll be a new array list. Like that. And then I can just use tanks like that. Good evening, Romeo. Welcome to the stream. And yeah, that should be fine. So that basically covers that there. This kind of makes me wonder whether this actual storages here is redundant. But I'm gonna leave it. Oh no, maybe this is redundant. Maybe the inventories is redundant. No, because the inventories are converted to a storage so that we can access it as a storage for the sided thing, the weird API lookup thing. Yeah, this thing. Okay. Okay. Fabric is still a little bit confusing to me, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Yes, I am doing Fabric 1.21. That is what I am using now. No more Forge for me. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll go back to Forge in the future, but for the time being, Fabric is going to be the go-to for me. I just want to thank you for your videos. You've provided a huge help in the modding scene. That's good. I'm glad you yeah, I'm glad you can find those useful. That's good. So we're going to want these methods basically. So let's do that. Let's have a public void. I'm going to call this add tank, and I'm going to go t tank sure, and that will just call that method and then sure. Right, that's basically done that for me. I think this is fine. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to want a method to get the inventory, so we're going to say get tanks. We're going to want, yeah, basically all of these. So get tank side, if side is null, yeah, sure. That's fine. And then we want to be able to get one by an index as well. Is it? No? Get tank int index. Go. We're going to want to be able to get a list of fluid variants, and that's a good point. So a public list of fluid variant, which will get... I feel like fluid variant is a weird name. I'm not a fan of it. So what actually is it? Like what, in terms of data, what is it? So it's a fluid and then component changes and a hash code? Why are they holding a hash code as an integer? That's weird. I guess it doesn't change it. It doesn't change though, does it? This could be a record, surely. I'm pretty sure this could be a record. Oh no, it can't because... No, it could. This could definitely be a record. Whatever. Anyways, what is a component changes? What the fuck is this? What am I looking at? Is this for the component stuff? I assume it is, but like what actually is it? It doesn't seem to actually have any data unless I'm blind. Ah, here you go. So it's I see. So this is actually the map of the components to the component types to the component. Okay, this makes sense, I guess. Bit weird, but sure. So that has that. So how does one get the amount of a fluid variant? Or does a fluid variant not have an amount? If a fluid variant doesn't have an amount, then where is the amount saved? Is that just saved in here? That's saved in the storage. Okay, so a fluid variant is not a fluid stack. A fluid variant is like a fluid stack but without an amount. That's weird. And kind of useless. So, is it redundant to just create a class for a fluid stack? I'm gonna do that. And this can be a... Yeah, this seems very, what's the word? There's a word I'm looking for. Or a phrase I'm looking for. I don't know. It's jumbled. It's jumbled up. That's not what I was looking for, but it works. This should not be a record, actually. Or, well... No, I guess it can, because you would just create a new fluid stack, because a fluid stack isn't going to actually reference a specific tank, so you wouldn't be able to modify it anyways, so that's fine. For my use cases, that will be fine. So I can just have a list of fluid stack, which will get the fluids, and then from a tank I can get the variant, and I can get the amount, so that basically gives me what I want. So I can do a new... Hello? New... What is happening? Caps lock. New fluid stack. Tank.get variant. Variant is not... Wait, what? Wait, why did I do that? Why did I put them that way around? That's so weird. Oh, actually, is it a long amount? It is. That's also quite weird, but sure. So we'll do that. This might be redundant, but I'm just going to add it because it makes sense, at least for now. And we'll close those real quick. Check size. Nah. On open, on close, I probably should be using those, but that's fine. Drop contents, we're not going to do that because obviously we're not dropping anything. I'm not sure how I'm going to do recipes yet. I haven't decided. And then we just need to read them right. Okay. So to write it, what is this doing? So it creates a list for each tank. It creates another list. What? For each tank it creates another list? Why? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. That's weird. I'm going to put the amounts and then we're going to put the fluid, which I assume I can just get something from the variant, but if not... So why is there not a getter for the variant? It's not even final. Bro, it's not even final. Why is there not a getter for this? There's a getter for the amount. Where's the getter for the... Why? Oh, there is. It's get resource. Bro, consistency. Come on now. Where is the consistency? I need consistency. What can I get from that? I can get the fluid, and I can get a registry entry. Can I get a key from a registry entry? Get ID as string. Wow. Look at that. That works. And then read should be relatively simple. Can Copilot do that? Less than mbt.size. Can you do that? I guess so, because it's a list, isn't it? And then it gets the compound. You can't set the amount though, so this just needs to be .amount is equal that. And then this just needs to be .variant. Oh no, no, stop. What did I do? Is that right? And then how does this work? Get wrapper or throw. Which takes in the registry key. What is the registry here? Is it oh, it's a registry of fluids. Okay. So sure, we can do that. Get wrapper or throw, but I will do that here. So I will say, what is it? A registry something lookup? Yeah, that's it. That one. Type fluid, which is the fluid lookup. Sure, we'll call it that. Then we'll do that, and then we'll say get wrapper or throw, and we'll say registry keys dot fluid. And then all I can do is just say a fluid lookup dot optional. That takes a tag key. This takes a registry key. Can you write a registry key to MBT? Put registry key. No. Unless... Is there a codec? That would be nice. Wait, maybe there is. There is not. That's unfortunate. I can't just write a registry key to the MBT. Unless this has a way to write, which I doubt it does. No. Okay. So if I do get or throw, yeah, you can do this, right? But I think it needs an identifier. Yes. This is quite cringe. I don't suppose you can get an identifier. Nope. So that means we also have to do identifier. Oh, hello. Identifier dot, and can you pass it? You can pass it, so you can try pass from that. Does of actually take in a fluid? Yes, it does. Does this get me a fluid? It does not. This gets me to a reference of a fluid. Okay. The problem is, this writes a this writes a fluid. This doesn't write a fluid variant. I need to be able to write a fluid variant. Is there, by any chance, a fluid variant codec? There is. So, that means I can encode this. Right? Okay, I hate codecs, but I think if I do tank.getResource, and then I think you can do, what is it? MBT ops dot instance, and then a prefix? What is a prefix? I don't know what a prefix is. That's scary. But that gets me a data result, right? So I do get or throw. I probably shouldn't be throwing this much. So if I just put that, what is a prefix? Let's find usages. We'll go common, sure. Prefix. But what is the prefix? Is the prefix... So does that actually put it in an element, or what does this do, though? Am I going to find an actual instance where the prefix is provided, or am I going to have to jump through a bajillion hoops to find it? So this just puts it in a new MBT compound. Question, does it return the type of the prefix? Yes, it does, I believe. So I think I can just do a new MBT compound. And what that should do is put a compound in there. I think. So that will get or throw it. Is that a good idea to throw it, or should I? Well, yeah, because I guess if it can't encode it, then something crazy has happened, and sure, we can throw an exception. That's fine. What we should do here is basically the opposite. So I think I can do fluid variant.codec. I can decode, and yeah, this basically. Is that right? That gets me a pair of a fluid variant and an MBT element. Why? Why would I want the MBT element? Sure, whatever. I don't know why I would ever want the MBT element, but fine. Can I actually map this? I can. That's good. So I can just say pair get first and then get or throw, which is I guess a little bit cleaner. So now we don't need the lookup, which is actually nicer a little bit. Okay, I think we're slowly making headway here. So we add a tank, sure. So let's import that in, not there, in here, fluid storage. And this needs to be of a type. So the type that we want is just going to be, we're going to want a synced one. So I'm going to create a synced fluid. I'm going to call it a tank. No, no. Fine. I'll call it a storage. I hate that. I hate that it's called a storage. I much prefer to call it a tank. I get consistency, but I hate it. So what is it? It's a single fluid storage. That's it. Implement the method. So get capacity. Oh. Wait, why do I need to do that? Wait, there's no implementation of this? Why? Why? Wait, there's literally an amount. Oh, there's an amount, not a capacity. Why? 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 Literally just why? I do not understand. Where is the consistency? Okay. There. Sure. Why does the capacity depend on a fluid variant as well? That's also really weird. Like, why? Sure. Whatever. Anyways. We want to override on final commit, and we're going to pass in an updatable block entity, which is the block entity. Let's have that as a field as well, so a private final updatable block entity, and we'll set that in there, and then we'll just say block entity.update. Realistically, I could pass in just any block entity, I guess. instead of directly asking for an updatable block entity, and then just say if this dot block entity is instance of an updatable block entity, then I can updatable block entity update, or I could just do this dot block entity dot mark dirty, which I guess maybe is somewhat useful at some point in the future. Sure, so we'll do that. Nice, and that needs to be generic as well. And let's just do that in here. So let's do this and this. And then boom and boom. And let's not do that, thank you. NBT elements.compound type. It's not a compound type though, is it? It's a list, so that's actually wrong. List type is 9. There we go. Okay, let's create a property. Do we need a property delegate? We don't, because energy is a long, and the fluid amount is a long, the fluid capacity is a long. So we don't need a property delegate. I can go bye-bye. Fantastic. We're probably going to want an inventory as well to possibly hold a bucket. But we'll do that later, because that will kill me if I do that right now. Let's create the screen handler. Screen handler. Boom, boom, extends. What is it? Is it just screen handler, or do you... No, isn't it like an extended screen handler? Or am I crazy? Am I crazy? I'm crazy. Lovely. Let's implement those and implement... No, constructor. That, yes, that. And get rid of that. What do we take in? We take in the player inventory, I believe. Which is that. And then we take in a... Do we take in the payload? I think we take in the payload. Payload. I believe. And then we need super of the type, so we'll do screen handler type init dot thermal generator. And we also are going to need this is public, by the way. We're going to want the screen handler context. And we're also going to want the block entity, so private final thermal generator block entity. And we can set those in here. I guess... Should this take in a payload? I've actually completely forgotten, somehow. It does. And that actually... Oh! That makes sense. So that should pass in this. Then the player inventory. Then that's not right. .get world, .get block entity, the payload .pause. And that's it, isn't it? I believe. Yes. I think so. Yes. Right? Yes. Right? Yes, I think so. And then a thermal screen handler. There we go. And then the thermal generator block entity, which actually, do we do it that way around or do we, yeah, we do, okay. Which is the block entity. Then we pass that into the super, nice. Let's quickly go ahead and create that, I guess. There you go. Good, good. We are going to want the player inventory as well, so luckily I can just copy paste that. And this. There we go. And I'm also going to copy paste in the, well, yeah, I'll copy paste that in. This doesn't work, by the way, so don't try to use this, but we're going to say slot is less than 0, right? 0, 0, because we don't actually have a size. That's not obviously not ideal, but as long as I remember to change it, which I probably won't, then it's fine. Doesn't that take in? Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So we're not going to want these, so that's fine. Let's import that. Beautiful. I feel like I'm missing something. I'm definitely missing something. I don't know what it is. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to sync these to the client, because they won't do that by default. So, I believe I sync these to the client, right? Yeah, this, basically. And I think what this does, I think it automatically does the NBT for me. So yeah, it calls to initial chunk data NBT. No, that's not what I wanted it to do. So this is the serialized state. Okay, and is there a deserialize? This is a completely separate repo. I probably should have made it like a new branch, but it's just a bit of a pain to do that, so I decided I'm not going to do that. I need to, right, forgot about that. I need to do this. And then write to that, like that, and then I can just return that. Hello Aquafox, welcome to the stream. How do we even need this then? If I'm not overriding to initial chunk whatever, which I'm not, then we don't need that. So, bye-bye. And what does it use for deserializing? Do I need to use this? On block entity update, possibly? Oh, no, that's in the client play. Right, I see. If present... Oh, this just calls read. That's weird. But sure. I guess. Sure. It's weird that it calls read, but it doesn't call write. Because surely... whatever. Sure. We'll stick with it. So. Is this all fine? Let's do the data gen real quick. So data gen, we'll do the lang first of all. So we're going to want translation builder dot add block init dot thermal generator, and we're also going to want the title. Yeah, that, not that. God damn you. But I hate Copilot sometimes. It's such an idiot. Like, why on earth would I ever set the alloy furnace title to be the thermal generator? It doesn't make sense. But whatever. And then a model provider will just be orientable. So this will just be a normal cooker. No, no, no. Obviously not that. Come on. And recipe, I don't know. This can come up with something, maybe? Hello? No? Bro, the one time I need it to actually do something, it just completely ignores me. No, bro, obviously not. Why would I ever want this recipe? God. I could write my own Copilot at this rate. That was obviously a joke, by the way, to be completely clear, just in case anyone thought that was not a joke. That was very clearly a joke. Sure, that'll do. I don't care. Furnaces, is that a thing? That is a thing, but it's not called that. So we'll do that. And I'm guessing iron bars are not a thing, so we can just use... we'll stick with has item and then say... we'll say block init dot... No, not block init. Blocks dot iron bars, like that. And this is conditions from item. There we go. You still need to call the chunk update on the necessary setters. What do you mean? Are you sure? Like, I guess there is going to be... Oh, no, no, this is fine, because I'm not... No, I think this is fine. Because if this... So, what this does, right, is it in the packet... I assume this is called on the client side, correct? Am I correct in assuming that? Yes, so... The apply method is called when it gets to the client. And then the client will call onBlock entity update. OnBlock entity update, when it's implemented in the client plane networker, will grab the block entity and it will call the read method. The read method, if I implement that, if I go to implement... Sure. We'll call read MBT, which I have implemented to do this. So that should work. I didn't mean to do that. Now I need to open that back up. In terms of writing, I believe toInitialChunk data does that because... Yeah. So that just calls that, which calls toInitialChunk data. So that returns the MBT compound, which I assume this is given somewhere. So MBT getter, that applies it. So that just passes it down the MBT tag. So that's fine. So this should be all fine. Yeah, so now all we actually have to do is the ticking and also the screen. Have you tried the ID's AI model yet? The what's it called? JetBrains thing? This thing, AI assistant, I assume? I have not, because I'm not paying for that shit. As simple as that. No chance I'm paying for that, so no. To update packet Java docs. Sure, we'll look at that. Go to super. Returns the packet sent to nearby players. The chunk data returned by the initial chunk data is suitable. Then it will create an update packet, which is what I'm using there, and the MBT will be passed into read MBT on the client. Yeah. Observable state is a state that can observe what? What is this? To sync the block entity data using this method, use serverworld.getChunkManager.mark for update. Oh? Really? Wait. Does this not do that? Or does it do that? No, this does that. So that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. No one would ever call that method. I don't know why anyone would ever call that method. Update listeners is fine. That's good. Okay. We're all good. We're all good. Stop worrying, everyone. There's no need. We're all good. So if we're client side or the world is null, then we return. Sure, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. What the hell is this? Don't do that. I'm tempted to turn Copilot off because it's actually just getting in the way. So let's say let's first check the energy, because we don't want to do anything if there is energy. Speaking of, I should implement energy spreader as well, so we can spread the energy. That's good. Which, by the way, if anyone is curious, that's something I've created. That's not an actual thing. So I just call spread, and it spreads the energy around it. So, that's fine. Right. Right. So yeah, let's check that we have. Well, let's just check the energy, anyways. So we will get the storage. I kind of hate this. I hate that I always have to get on a direction even if there's no direction. But sure. If I pass in null, have I handled that? Yes, I have. Let's do that then. Well, okay. So if the storage dot get amount is let's do less than, or no, greater than or equal, no, greater than, no, let's just get this, let's just get the bloody storage. Simple energy storage. Energy storage. Sure. There we go. If energy storage dot get amount is greater than the capacity, negative, how much do we want this to generate per tick? I'm going to say for now 10. That's obviously not very high. Yeah, that's actually not very high. Let's do 100. Sure. We could have the generation amount depend on how full up it is in the future. Yeah, so if we're in that case, then we just want to return because we can't generate any more energy, so that's fine. Let's also then check if we have any lava. So let's say what is get amount F? What is this? What is it trying to do? I actually have no idea. But let's grab that so that we don't have to do that. And I called this get tank, didn't I? I shouldn't have called it get tank. I regret that. Let's call it get storage. Consistency. Is that fine? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, consistency, people. If the fluid storage is less than 100. No. If the fluid storage is less than 10. 10? No. No. We'll just check if it's empty. If the fluid storage is empty. Is empty? Is resource blank? What does that do? Sure. Or the fluid storage amount is less than or equal to 0, I guess. I'm pretty sure they'll both be true at the same time, but just in case. Then we'll return. And then we want to take an amount to actually extract, right? So what's Copilot trying to do? Copilot is trying to take the minimum between the amount and 100. Sure. It depends how much lava we actually want to consume per tick. I'm thinking we just do 1 millibucket per tick. Like always, I guess. I think that's more reasonable, at least for now, and we can easily tweak that later. So I'm going to say we're actually going to have that as a constant for now. So let's do that. Let's have a private static final int, and we'll call this something like consume rate. I was thinking more like consumption rate, but I guess consume rate kind of makes more sense. So if the amount is less than consume rate, sure. In that case, we can just do that here. We can just say less than consume rate instead of saying less than or equal to 0. That's fine. And then it extracts consume rate, which you can't actually do. So how do you do that? Extraction requires a transaction context. So that's when you want to do it from a third party, right? So if you want to do it yourself, I'm pretty sure you just negate it from the amount, and that should update. And then, yeah, so that will basically add to the energy storage, which is fine. What I'm thinking, though, is we want it to generate more if there's more lava in the storage. So what if we use the actual amount that is in there? So let's say int stored lava. Well, this has to be a long, doesn't it? Long stored lava is equal fluid storage dot get amount, right? And we will use this stored lava to determine how much to generate. So Energy stored. Do we need that? I would say no. What we need to be able to do is say, so let's grab the capacity. Okay. And I'm just going to tell Copilot what we're actually doing here. So this should generate more energy depending on how full up the fluid tank is. So no, definitely not that. God, goodness gracious. Okay. So we want something like, if we want to generate, okay, so if there is maybe one lava. Well, actually, I guess that's kind of correct. But if it was at like 50,000, that would be generating like 50,000 per tick, which is obviously not what we want. We want something more like, I guess, just stored lava divided by like 50 or like divided by 1,000. Capacity times 100. If the capacity is 50,000 times 100, that would be what, 5 million? But that wouldn't generate very much, so I don't think that's really what we want. I think just dividing by like 1,000 is fine, right? So if we had like 5, the problem is if we had like 5, that would be generating, well, nothing. It would generate 0, because 5 divided by 1,000 would round down to 0. So we want to kind of clamp it. So let's use mathhelper.clamp. Clamp. We're going to clamp between. So that's times 0.1. No, I kind of want like stored lava. I guess divided by 1,000 is a lot, isn't it? Because that means it could only max out at 50. So we kind of probably want like divide by 100, which would mean the max could be 500 per tick. Right? Which means, yeah, 0 and 100. The minimum, though, shouldn't be 0 if there is energy. The max I am going to clamp out at like 500, though. I think that's fine. But the minimum, if there is energy, should always be 1. That way it's always generating something when it's consuming lava. Otherwise, that's weird. So what we could do is say the minimum could be if the stored lava, well, you know, no, there's no point even doing this calculation if there is no lava. Let's just say if stored lava less or not equal to 0, we'll just return. We will not return. We will update and return. We don't need the capacity. That's fine. And then this should also update. And then finally, what it will do is it will just spread using this.world. It will use this.pos, and it will use this.energy storage, which needs to be needs to actually get the storage. So no. So that will just call spread from here. That's fine. And this updates it, right? this dot amount. If it's not equal, then that updates it. That's fine. Okay. So I think this should work, unless I'm going crazy. So this is also kind of stupid, because this should not be that. Let's just say if it's greater than or equal. That's fine. And then we get the storage. If there's no fluid in there, or the fluid amount is less than the amount that it will consume, then it just ignores it. It takes away the consume amount. If there's no lava stored, then we're just going to update and return, because we don't want to try and no, that doesn't make sense, does it? We should consider how much is stored before we take away the consume rate. And then that way, yeah, that way we don't actually need this check, because there's always going to be lava stored, because we're checking that here. So that's actually fine. We can remove that check completely. Yeah, that's fine. And then what this should do, I can remove this comment because I kind of know what this does. Let's do this. So yeah, we take away the consume rate, and then we are going to increase the energy depending on the amount that is stored, and we're clamping that between 1 and 500. So it's always going to be producing something, even if there is hardly any stored. So it will still consume it, but it's still going to produce something. So that should be fine, I believe. It may obviously need tweaking to balance it, but that should work functionally. The only thing we need to do now is we need to do the screen, which is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So let's create a thermal generator screen. Let's extend handled screen of type a thermal generator screen handler. Let's draw the background. Let's create the constructor. We are also going to want the render method. And the reason is because we need to call the draw mouse over tooltip, which is cringe. I hate that you have to do that, but you have to. So we do it. I'm also going to want to set the title X position to be this. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. That's fine. And that just centers it, which is fine. And then we're going to need to grab the texture. So let's do that. So let's have an identifier of texture is equal industria.id. We're going to do textures GUI container thermal generator. That's fine. We are going to draw the back. No, we're going to use the context.draw texture. Pass in the identifier, which is the texture. Then we're going to do this.x, this.y, 0, 0, that. Yeah. Now we're going to need to draw the fluid and the energy. So for the energy, we'll do that. Sure, Copilot kind of knows what it's doing here, right? I actually don't want to draw a texture for that though. I want to fill, just a rect. Sure, that will do. And then we'll get the fluid. This technically needs to be a long though. We'll have two longs there. And we'll say the fluid amount. I'm actually going to get the fluid stack. Fluid stack. And let's also get the capacity as well. So the long fluid capacity. And long fluid amount. Which is going to be the amount like that. And sure, we'll do that. And for now, I'll just do, we'll go red on that. But we will need to actually draw the texture of the fluid sprite. But that'll be a little bit of a pain, so we'll do that in a second. Let's create these methods to get the actual energy. So we're going to do this. We're going to get the wrapped energy. Let's create that. Or is that what I called it in here? Not in here. In here. When I get the wrapped thing. So I just call that get inventory. So I think it's reasonable to actually just call this get energy storage. And we'll do that. Let's create this method in there. So we'll say the synced energy storage. Oh, we can't do that. So that just needs to be a simple energy storage then. And then we're also going to do the fluid storage. And the... Oh, we don't have the item storage, but sure, that will do. So then in here we can do that. And we can also get the fluid stack. So I'll say fluid stack. Get fluid storage, and we're going to call we actually can't do that. So we'll just return a new in that case there isn't really any point. Yeah, there's no benefit to that. So we'll just have get fluid amount. And we'll have the get fluid capacity. Then we'll have... Oh, but we still need to be able to get the fluid. So we also are going to need get fluid and get fluid amount like that. So we'll create that still. Which we'll need to return that. We need to get the variant. Oh, the variant has an amount, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Wait, does it? Oh, it does. Wait, so what's the point in my fluid stack? I thought... Didn't I create... Wait, now I'm confused. The variant is what? Oh, no, okay. Okay. I'm getting a bit lost. But yeah, that's fine. So we need to get the actual fluid from that. Or... Yeah. Yeah, get fluid, like that. Then we can get that from here. My fluid stack is still kind of useless, but that's the point. We are going to want the texture. I don't know how we do that in Fabric. In Forge, you could get it from the attributes. I'm guessing we can't do that. So... We can have a look. Maybe we can. Fluid attributes. Yeah, it doesn't look like we can. We can try to get the handler. I don't know what the handler does, but maybe that gets us something. No, it does not. So, okay. So how do we get the still texture then? I'm going to look at the wiki again. That's blinding. Thank you. I'm also going to close that because I don't need that now. Okay. So, let's have a look-sees. Coating of fluid. There we go. To get still. Maybe it's just dependent on the name. Yeah, because it doesn't seem to have anywhere that references like an identifier. Oh, no, it does. For your fluids to have textures or be tinted with a color, you need to register a fluid render handler for them. Here we will reuse the fluid, the water's textures and change the tint color to make sure the texture renders blah 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 blah. So can I get this? Can I do fluid render handler registry dot instance dot get the fluid? I can actually render the fluid, but that's in the world anyway, so that's not really helpful. But I can get the fluid sprites. Okay. So let's have a sprite array of fluid sprites. And I'm going to call get fluid. Oh, but that needs a block render view. Okay, let's first of all actually take this handler here. So the fluid render handler. Fluid render handler. We'll do that. It's going pretty well wide. We haven't able to test it yet, but in theory everything should work. I'm yet to find something that I think might not work, so I think that's good. We can use the client world, can't we? And the pause we can use this dot handler dots. We can't get the pause from that, but we can get the block entity pause. There you go. Okay, so that should get us these sprites. And then we're also going to want the tint color. So we'll say int tint color is going to be equal to the fluid color. There we go. Now, what are these fluid sprites exactly? So, gets the sprite from a fluid rendered at a position. For optimal performance, the sprite should be loaded as part of a resource reload and not looked up every time the method is called. Huh. Okay. Sure. That's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but we'll try it. So anyways, the thing I wanted to know was that the still texture is the first one, and the second one is the flowing. The third would be overlay. So the one we're going to want is probably still. So we'll actually just say still texture is going to be equal to 0. Let's also just check if fluid render handler is equal null, then we're going to return. And we'll also say or the fluid amount is less than or equal to 0. There we go. Hello Shape Saga, welcome to the stream. I think we are almost there. I'm actually just going to create some variables for some of these little things. So specifically because variable lookups are relatively inexpensive, and I think these are probably also all variable lookups, but just in case, we will create the block pos, and then we'll create the default state, which will be a fluid state, which is that. So then we can give the pos and also the fluid state, which is just a little bit cleaner because that means we can one-liner it rather than several-liner it, which is always nice. And we can make that cleaner. Nice. I'm also going to do the world, actually. So we're going to do the world, and I'm going to get that from the block entity rather than the client so that we can avoid the warning with, oh, it must be, oh, it's actually a null pointer, but that's not what I was thinking. I thought it would be the try catch thing, but I guess that's fine. The try of resources thing, not try catch. I'm such a yapper. I need to stop yapping. Anyways, we now need to draw it. How do we draw it? I don't know. I forgot. Create animation. No. Dot tick. What does that do? Don't know. Upload void. Get contents. Probably get ID. So that's probably what we want from that. When you're done with the mod, can you post it on CurseForge and when you're done with the mod, can you post them on CurseForge and put them in the description? What am I putting in the description? I don't understand what you want me to put in the description. Oh, you mean put the link to the mod in the description? Yeah, I will do that. If I ever get around to that stage. Unfortunately, I don't think we're anywhere close to that, of course, because we have kind of just started it. But yeah, if I ever get to that point, I will. Of course I will. I'll probably create a showcase video for it if I ever get around to that point. So we need to draw it. And no, but how am I meant to cache this? Because it could change, right? The fluid could change. So the only way would be if I literally had a map of fluid to a sprite, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Are you meant to do this for this as well? No. So it is just the sprite as part of a resource reload. Screens don't have a resource reload, do they? Because I don't think it's worth worrying about that. I think the performance impact is negligible because it's on a screen. It's not like it's on if we're rendering the fluid in the world, then it's slightly different because it's being rendered all the time. If we're rendering it on the screen, then the only thing that's actually rendering is the screen. Well, and the world, but we're not worrying about the world, so I think it's fine. What I'm trying to figure out is how to draw the fluid, basically. Can I just do that? Yeah, so that wants a sprite, but... Wait, what does that actually want? The X, Y, the Z? No, I don't want the Z. Why do I need a Z? Am I stupid? Pretty sure you don't need a Z. I'm just gonna say 0. Maybe that's fine. And then it wants a red, green, blue, so we actually need to do that. So red, green, blue. Lovely, thank you. And we can just pass in red, green, blue. And it doesn't... Oh, it does take an alpha. But it doesn't support an alpha. Right? It literally said... Setting a custom alpha tint here. Our HUD could not handle setting a custom alpha tint here. As such, it must be contained with the texture itself. So... Sure, whatever. Okay, fine. That will do. Wait, but how am I meant to get the alpha from the texture? I can't do that. Do I just render it at 1 and assume... I guess so. Should we try this? Should we try it? What do you guys think? Think it'll work? I'm genuinely curious if you guys think this will work or not. For some reason, I'm somewhat confident, even though every time I am, it never works. But I am somewhat confident that this kind of might work straight away. I know that if it works, the fluid will be stretched. It's not going to be tiled, unfortunately. But I'm not going to try and calculate that now and whatever, because that's too much effort. So I know that won't work exactly how I want it to. I don't have a texture for the block, and I don't have a texture for the GUI. Could quickly create one for the GUI, but there isn't really any point. For now. I mean, what could go wrong? Trying to think what could possibly go wrong. In the block class, I'm not opening the screen, am I? I am opening the screen, but this should be renamed because that's... I mean, it doesn't matter, but thermal generator. This is not good. It's not happy about that. We can actually just comment that out. I think this might actually work. What could go wrong? I guess there's only one way to find out. I'm going to run DataGen just to do the lang and the models. Oh, and I forgot to do the loot table as well, actually. Now that I think about it. Run that again. And then I think we can run the game. It might work. This might actually work. Let's give it a go. It might crash straight away. It might all work first try. We'll see. I think there's a high likelihood, honestly, that I've done something stupid and it's just going to crash. But I don't know for sure. So we'll see. If it works completely first try, I will be flabbergasted. which is why I don't really think that's going to happen. So, oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. No such method. Identifier init. Void. Identifier init. What? What? Excuse me? Wait, what is it actually complaining? There's nothing at the line number it's on about. No such method error. How in goodness gracious am I getting a no such method error? Oh. Oh? Wait. Wait. I'm using 1.21 Tech Reborn, right? I don't know why I went into that. Wait. Do I not even have the thing in? God, I'm lost. I'm lost. 3.0.0. That doesn't sound right, does it? Tech Reborn Energy. Oh. Yeah, 3.0.0 is completely wrong. I don't know how the hell I got that. We should be on 4.1.0. So let's do Tech Reborn Energy version is equal 4.1.0. I bet Copilot did that, you know. I just I just assumed it was correct. I bet that's what happened. But I don't remember, because that was something I did last stream. Yeah, Copilot is not updated, so like it's not using anything new. So that's probably... Oh, I forgot to... Wait, I forgot to reload. That's not going to work, is it? Oh, unless IntelliJ did it for me. Did IntelliJ do it? It did. Or did I do it and just completely forget that I just did it? I don't know. Regardless, it's reloaded, so it should be fine. Ethan Miles, thank you for the follow. Okay, let's test this out. It crashed again. What this time? Is it the same thing? It's the same thing? Wait, that can't be right. Maybe I didn't reload. I must have not reloaded, I think. Try that again. Let's have a look. If this doesn't work, then I will try do the Gradle task, because I always seem to have problems with using the configuration instead of the Gradle task, so it's quite possible that's the issue. This is actually something different, though. So tank.get first appears to be giving a no such element exception. Because... I don't know why, actually. Because this should always add a tank. And that's being called in the constructor, right? I'm such an idiot. That would definitely help. That would definitely help. to actually add a fluid tank. Okay. No pain, no gain, right? Okay. So we're gonna try that. I should add a predicate fluid storage so that I can check that it's a valid fluid as well, but for now I'm not gonna worry about that. Let's try again. I think it'll work this time. That's the first yawn of the stream, chat. You know what that means. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay. So obviously this error is going to be the actual background. I should have added a background texture just so I didn't get that stupid annoying error. But the inventory starts here and that all works, so that's good. And yeah, obviously shift click doesn't work because I didn't do that method. So oh, how am I going to put lava in there? Didn't think about this. Right. I don't actually have a way of putting lava in there. Okay. So, in that case, we're going to have to add an inventory slot so that we can test that, because otherwise we're never going to know if this works. It could have worked first try, but now we'll never know. We'll probably never know. Lovely. Lovely. Okay, let's do that. I think it should be relatively simple, I think. But that could be famous last words. So, okay, all we need a wrapped inventory. So a wrapped inventory storage of type simple inventory. And this will be the inventory storage. And that will just be like that. Okay, then we need to add an inventory. So I'm going to add a new predicate simple inventory, which is going to take in this. It's going to take in a size of 1. And then for the predicate, we're somehow going to need to check that it has a fluid in it. It needs to be a fluid container. I don't know how to do that, though. I don't suppose that's going to be mentioned on the wiki, is it? Let's go here. How to use and implement the fluid containing item API. Oh, I remember this. Ugh. This is disgusting. I remember how absolutely disgusting this was. This was horrible. So yeah, you need to create a container item context. Right. Okay. So yeah, and then you're able to find it basically from from the context. You can find it. It's really weird. So there actually has to be like a field in this class. So you need like a, because I briefly tried to do this for something. I don't remember what it was, but I briefly tried to do it. So you need like a container item context, right? Yeah, like this. I think I can do a single slot one, but that's fine. Context is equal to a new single slot container item context, which needs to take in this inventory storage. And I think I can get the storage or something like that. Oh, that's internal, apparently. Why is this internal? Okay, maybe not then. Container item context. For creative interaction with constant of single slot. It's probably of single slot, right? So... Right, because the problem is I need to be able to create a single slot storage, because my inventory storages aren't a single slot storage. They're a storage that just has a size of a single slot. So I have to be able to convert that, and I think the way I did that was just creating a new single slot storage. And then what I think I did was I just called insert. So I think I just did this dot so thermal generator block entity dot this dot inventory storage, and I think you then can get the storage. So if I do in here a private final simple inventory is equal thermal generator block entity dot this dot inventory storage dot get get storage like that. Oh, that gives us an inventory storage. That's fine, I think. And then I think I can do this dot inventory dot insert like that. And then I basically do the same here. So this dot inventory dot extract and this dot inventory dot is resource blank. How do you do that? Dot inventory. Can I check if it's empty? Oh, I can actually get a slot which gives me a single slot storage. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Okay, so if I don't do this because that's kind of jank, and if I instead say this dot context is equal this dot get slot 0, and then I can pass this into the container context thing. So container item context dot of single slot, pass that in. Okay, and then in here in this predicate I can say return this dot context. That's not going to work though. That's not going to work because the predicate damn it, because this needs to be set to be able to access it in the predicate. So okay, okay, this is going to be really jank then. So I'm going to make this not final. I'm just going to make this null, and then I can use the context to find it. And how do you actually find it though? Find, how do you find? Fluid storage dot item. Like that. find fluid storage.item, and that returns what? So that returns a storage. So then I need to check the actual fluid of the storage, or do I need to check that it's null or not? Does this, it can be null. Okay, what does this return? Returns A, and A is of type fluid storage. So I need to get the fluid storage. No, storage of fluid variant. Oh my god. No, not that. No, that. There you go. Okay. And then if storage is null, we return false. And then we return storage.supports extraction and storage dot. Wait, how can I get what's in the storage though? Can I not get what's in the storage? What? Surely. What? Surely you can get what's in the storage, can you not? Or do you need to use... No, okay, you need to use a transaction for that. Oh my god. So I'll do this then. Supports extraction. So if it doesn't support extraction, then we return false. Then we need to try and do a transaction. The transaction fails. Then we know we can't insert. If it succeeds, then we discard the transaction and we know that we can insert. Right? I believe. So I think if I do transaction.openOuter, which gives me a... Does that give you a transaction or transaction context? Yes, that gives you that. So then you try and insert, right? So you do... No, you extract. So if I extract a fluid variant of fluids.lava, we try and extract one, passing in the transaction. I don't want to commit though. I just want to return true. Else we do transaction. Well, no, we abort the transaction either way, right? I believe. Or do we not need to do that? Do you need to do that or not? I actually don't know. Let's do this. Boolean extracted is equal that. Then I'll do transaction.abort and I'll return extracted. Okay. So I think this will work. I'm kind of concerned though that we have to pass in a fluid here and we're passing in fluid lava. What happens if it's flowing lava, or is flowing lava just lava? I don't know. I think that'll be fine. I don't know if we need to abort it though. Wait, did it say on the wiki? You insert there and then, but you have to commit it for it to actually be committed, right? So surely you don't need to abort it? I don't think you need to abort it because it's closed here, right? Because this is a tray of resources. So my assumption would be that this just aborts when it closes. Would that be a correct assumption? It implements auto closable. So if we look at close, go to implementations. Yeah, close automatically abort. So you don't need to abort manually. So I think this should work. This should only allow lava. So this is how you check if an item has lava stored in it. To be fair, that's actually not too bad. Compared to Forge, it's... I don't know. Actually, it's not that bad. It's a little bit jank to have to simulate an extraction rather than just check what's in the storage. But... it's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. So then what we can do is in here, in here is we can actually try and take the fluid. So we actually have to do this again, but inside of here. So what we're going to do I'm wondering if I should make this a method then. Nah. We'll just do it again. I'm going to create a method that will actually do this, and I'll call that in the tick method though. So I'm going to call this extract lava from inventory, and then I'll create a private void extract lava from inventory, and what we can do is just commit the extraction or commit the transaction, and I think that will work. So that should basically, that will take one every single tick, I believe. And then I guess what that should do is that should cause an update. But what that will do is that will extract. What I then need to do is insert. So I then need to say, how do I do that? So extract returns the amount extracted, right? Yes. So if I do, or do I need to do that? Can I just say just.fluid storage.amount? No, get storage null. I think I need to insert. Otherwise I would have to also set the variant. No, I think I can just set the variant. So the variant is equal to lava. So I'll just say var lava. So I can extract lava, and then I can also set the variant to be lava, and then I can set this dot fluid storage dot get storage dot amount plus equals this. Or I should actually say int extracted is equal to that, and that actually needs to be a long. And then say if extracted is greater than 0. So if it actually extracted something, then we can do that. Right? So we can then change the variant, we can increase the amount by the extracted, and then we can commit it. However, we only want to extract if we can extract. So we also want to say if this dot fluid storage dot amount. No, we have to get the fluid storage. God damn it. Okay, so we'll get the fluid storage. So we'll say, what is it? It's a how do we get the storage again? Synced fluid storage. So synced fluid storage. If fluid storage is not blank, it's not blank. Well, no, that's irrelevant. If the amount is greater than or equal to the capacity, then we return. Then we set the variant, and then we add the amount. And then we commit the transaction if it extracted something. Right, and then that can be called in here. Okay. Then we need to also update as well, so that it notifies of the update. Then in here, we can uncomment this, and we can get the inventory, which we can create in here. So get inventory storage. And that's actually not a storage though, so just get inventory, I guess. I kind of hate that, because we have to use get inventory 0 instead of getting the storage. You thought I was an Eclipse user? What do you mean, Luke? I haven't used Eclipse in years. I don't even remember the last time I used Eclipse. This actually needs to return a inventory storage though. I used to use Eclipse, but I haven't in a long time. Like a long time. I don't even remember the last time I used Eclipse, honestly. Inventory storage, there we go. And then just do that in here as well. The inventory, I guess for consistency, this should probably be inventory storage. Who cares? I'm sure it's fine. Why is this not called inventory storage? Why can't I drop the contents? Oh, because it needs the wrap storage. Fine. Fine. That means I actually don't need this. Or do I? Do I need this? No, I don't need that. That's actually useless. Yay! I appreciate the sub. Thank you. Oh my god, look at all these imports. So many imports. That seems like an unnecessary amount of imports. But, okay. That's good to know. Anyways. So what do we do now? Well, we fixed this. No, I'm not collapsing the imports. How dare you even suggest such a thing? Look, that's horrible. Why would you ever do that? Exciting having imports. I also hate this. I hate this. This container item context with a passion. Just let me have it be final. To be honest, I probably could if I did like a... Maybe if my predicate was a supplier of a predicate, but that's really jank and I don't like that. So that's kind of even worse. Or I could have it be like an atomic reference, which is a great example of abusing atomic references. But it also would work. It means I could have it be final. Or I could have... I couldn't have it be an optional because you can't set an optional. So that's not very helpful. Yeah, I could have... You know what I could do? No, I couldn't do that. I don't think there's a way around it, actually. Without having the context be final. The only way... Because it's... Yeah. Because it's used here. Set here. But it has to be... This can't be set before this because this needs the inventory storage. So... Also, get the slot 0? No, that's fine. That's never going to return null. I mean, well, it could return null, sure. I can't make it final because if it's final, then it can't be used in here. No. No, if it's final, then it can't be set here. What does that do? Oh no, that just makes it not final. Oh, no, that's just because it's null. But it can't be used here because it needs to be initialized. And if it's initialized, then it can't be used. So I can either make it not final or initialize it. Those are literally my only two options. Extract a method reference? What the hell does that do? Well, that would work actually, wouldn't it? Technically. If I made this a method instead of actually being in the constructor, that would work actually. So if I had like here, private boolean is valid, and I did that. And then I just called is valid. That way it doesn't have to be final. And I can actually make this take in an integer and an item stack, so it can be a method reference rather than just a scuffy old lambda. Int slot and item stack item. I hate that the item stack is not before the slot, but it's okay. And then I can just say this is valid. I can do that, right? Yeah, I can do that. So that's not jank. What's complaining here? Oh, just that. Okay, that's fine. So that works. And that's not that jank. This doesn't need to be this though, because that's not in a thing anymore. No, that's not jank. That's completely the opposite of jank. That's like a perfect example of not being jank. One thing I should do though is I should really make this be a by-predicate of an item stack and then an integer, because that's yucky. I'm actually going to do that before I end up using this absolutely everywhere and then it'll piss me off. So we'll do that. And then like that. No, not like that. Oh, I see why I did that, because is valid is that way around. But anyways, you're meant to copy it to a local final variable. You can't do that. That's impossible. Because What would you make final? Also, what's wrong here? Oh, right, because that's the wrong way around. No, but you can't. Because what would you make final? Like, the only thing... Well, no, there's nothing I can make final here. What local variable? I don't have a local variable. No, but I make it for what? What am I making it for? What is the type of the variable? You can't just make a variable. It has to have a type. And there's no type that... Like... Okay, if we go back to the predicate, right? I need to access the context in here. Right? I need the context. The context is already final. That's it. The context is already final. But it hasn't been initialized. Well, no, it has to be final because it's set in the constructor. Well, it doesn't have to be final, I guess. But that was kind of the whole point. Move the initialization above the usage? No, but what's that meant to do? If no, because that won't work, because then I can't access the context in here. Or, no, I can't access the inventory storage, because the storage hasn't been set, because the storage is set here. So I can't do that. That would just break. That's why this has to be after this. Because this relies on this method. So it's fine. It's fine as it is. It works. And it's not jank. Yeah, it's a cross-reference. This references the inventory storage, and the inventory storage references the context. So the only way to do it is by having the method in this class, which means that it's not initialized in the constructor, which will work. Anyways, that's besides the point, because that works now. That's not a problem. So yeah, so that drops the contents there. That's fine. We need to add a slot in the screen handler. So let's go screen handler and set it in here. So we're going to add block entity inventory. Sure. Private void add block entity inventory, and we'll pass in the block entity. That's completely useless though, because honestly we already have that as a field, so that's cringe. This.block entity, sure. And then why is this complaining? Because it doesn't have the inventory, so I need to use get this dot get this. No, get. Oh, I have to use get as recipe input. That's not a very good name, is it? Get get recipe inventory. There you go. That's not quite as jank. Okay. So that should be everything, I believe. Oh, you know what I do need to do? I need to register the sided things. So I need to say How do you do this? Item sided or something? No. Item lookup? No. What is it? Item storage? Dot sided? Here you go. Register for block entity. By function. Block entity direction. It returns the block. Yikes. No, it returns a storage item variant from a block entity and direction. Okay. And then it takes in the type. So if we use our block entity. So we'll do the alloy furnace first, actually, because I haven't done that one yet. And I'm going to say get inventory provider. And then I'm going to say the type. So type init dot alloy furnace. Nice. And then I will do the same for the energy, for the for our new one, for the thermal generator. So energy storage dot sided dot register for block entity. We're going to use the thermal generator block entity, and we're going to say get energy storage, get energy provider. We'll create that in a second. And then we're going to do the same thing for fluid. So we'll say fluid storage dot sided, get fluid provider, item storage dot sided, get item provider. And then we'll just go ahead and create these methods real quick. Not like that, we'll go like that. So we're going to say public, and we need to get a storage, right? So we need to get a energy storage, get energy storage, or get energy provider. Yeah, get energy provider, which passes in a direction. And then we do that. Nice. And then we do the same thing for fluids. Sure. And then we do the same thing for items. Is there not a... There's a fluid storage, right? Simple fluid or synced fluid storage, I believe, isn't it? Because T is a single fluid storage. Okay. Single fluid storage, and then this is an inventory storage. Nice. So that will get those for the thermal generator. Okay, that's good. So that's that. Is that it? Oh, what have I done wrong? Because this is now the wrong way around. Do that. Let's call this the slot as well. Okay. Chat. Do we think this will work? That is the big question. I think this will work. I don't know how well it will work, but I think it will work. So, I think I saw 2 errors there. I didn't. That's good. So we do have a single slot. Let's go ahead and put a bucket of water in there. Just do that as well so we can get ready. That works. It did let me put water in there. It shouldn't have let me put water in there, but at least it didn't extract the water. So that's a good start. Let's put lava in there. Okay, it didn't extract the lava either. Interesting. Also, this music is horrendously loud. Stop that. Let's do that and that. Okay. Oh, where'd that go? Wait, did it work? Oh? Maybe it's actually working? And not sinking. That's what I'm thinking is happening. Still nothing is rendering though. Okay, let's go to here. We're not in debug mode, are we? Damn it. Let's go debug mode. And we're going to plonk a breakpoint in here. And we're just going to see what it says. So I don't think we actually want that to fire straight away, so we'll do that in a second. And we're going to see what's happening. I reckon it's not sinking, but I'm not sure. Because the lava is disappearing, which is the interesting thing. So I'm going to plonk breakpoint there. But the energy is 0. The fluid is an empty fluid. The fluid amount is 0. The capacity is there. Interesting. So the fluid is empty. In that case, let's go to the tick method and see what's happening in there. So we'll go to the block entity. Here we go. And we'll step into this method for now. So we're going to step into here. And we're going to try and find the storage. Aha! So there is no storage on the item. That's interesting. So I'm wondering if possibly the context is failing. So obviously this is valid, is not working how I wanted it to. Let's look at this real quick. Insert, and then that's passing in fluid constants dot buckets. Interesting. So let's try this then. Let's put a breakpoint in is valid and try and put an item in the storage. Because that's created when the block entity is created. That method shouldn't be called when the block entity is called, right? So it is valid. Here we go. You can't see the game. 1 second. I will put up a window capture. There you go. So now you can see the game. So I'm going to put this in there. Interesting. So is valid is actually not being called. So I think that's because even though this predicate is in the actual inventory itself, I'm pretty sure the slot ignores that, as weird as that sounds. So I think Yeah, because I have to have a predicate slot. So if I say a predicate slot, and by default that will check if it can insert into that. I think, can I hot swap that? I can. So if I now close and reopen, I can now put a lava bucket in there, but I can't. I can still put a water bucket in there. If I try and put like a lectern in, I can do that too. And is valid still not being called? Interesting. I'm wondering if it's because of this. Because I'm actually getting the stacks instead of the actual inventory. So what if I do get inventory of 0? So get inventory 0. Interesting, because I'm realizing that when I put an item in there, oh no, that works now. Okay, or I don't think that's actually even saving, so that's good. So what does this do again? This text is valid. So this tests the predicate on the stack and the slot. So how in goodness gracious is how on earth is valid not being called? I don't understand. I'm passing the predicate here. This dot predicate is set to that. That is called on isValid. IsValid is being called in the screen handler because the screen handler adds a predicate slot, right? And the predicate slot by default will set it to be inventory can insert. Can insert, so that sets the predicate there, which overrides can insert here. Is that the right method? Valid item. Maybe it's meant to be insert stack or place item or may or is or can. I'm gonna breakpoint that. So that is being called. But let's step into that. Oh. So that's going into a simple inventory there. So it's checking if the inventory is valid. What does this do? That overrides is valid. Oh, but you know what this does? This calls can insert. And can insert doesn't check. No way. Wait, can insert doesn't check, doesn't call is valid? I'm sorry, what? No way. It doesn't. It actually doesn't. Can insert does not check if the stack is valid. Oh my god. Wait, that's insane. That's actually insane. Neither does set stack. Set stack and add stack don't check if it's valid. What? It's crazy. If it is valid slot stack, then we want to call set stack. If is and then we want add stack. If is valid stack. How do we want to do that? Add stack is a little bit different actually, because add stack doesn't have a specific slot that it will try to put it in. Which is interesting. I guess I should say well, I guess no, that's not going to work actually, because it needs to be specific to a specific slot. So I guess I could re-implement add stack, possibly, or I can't do add to existing slot because that's private. I could do transfer, but the transfer doesn't have a slot either. Damn it. Damn it. This is crazy. Okay, for now, I'm just going to say slot 0. I know that's not going to work as like a future solution, but for now, that will work. So I'm going to restart. Hopefully this will work now. Or at least we should be able to see why our isValid method isn't being called. And then we'll be able to see why we can't extract lava. That's what we're going to find out. And I'll move this off screen so you don't have to see 2 Minecrafts. There we go. So, oh, there we go. Okay, so what is the stack? The stack is air. Storage is null, so it should return false. Okay, whatever. So if I put water in there, let's remove this breakpoint because that doesn't matter anymore. So we say storage. If the storage is null, it returns false. And so it didn't let me put it in there. It actually just disappeared. But I don't think this is actually working. Because, okay, I'm going to put lava in there. Right? Watch this. So, I'm actually going to step into this as well. Or can I do that? Which one do I want here? This one? Need to be that one? What do I do? I'm lost. Let's go do. Okay, whatever. Step into. What has it done? But the storage is null. storage is null. How is the storage null? And also, why is it deleting the stack? It's just deleting the item when I try to put it in there. It's just a void slot. I don't think it's meant to do that. Right? I'm pretty sure it's not meant to do that. But I'm returning the stack if it's not valid, so why is it doing that? Like, can insert should tell you whether or not it can go in. If it returns false, it just shouldn't let you insert it. It shouldn't just delete it. Like, what? Go to super. And insert is true. Let's go to implement not that. Go to implementations. And let's go to like an armor slot. Yeah, so that just checks if the equipment is the preferred equipment, right? But it doesn't like that's weird. I actually don't know why it deletes it. I feel like it shouldn't do that. Well, okay, in that case, what I'll do is when I create the slot, so in here, I'm just going to pass a predicate in. So I'm just going to say stack, and I'm going to say this dot block entity dot is valid. We're going to say slot 0, and I'm going to say the item stack. And what that will do is that will just call our is valid method, which I can make public. Hopefully, can I do that? That's wrong. Item stack 0. There you go. And then it can make it public. Why is it not making it public? And also, int slot. There you go. Okay, so that will do that. And then what we can do, so we shouldn't be able to insert into that. That means that inside of here, this doesn't need to be a predicate slot. So this can just be something like a synced simple inventory or something. What's it called? Synced inventory storage. What, bro? What did I call? I called the class. Syncing simple inventory. Syncing simple inventory. And I can just get rid of that is valid. Like that. So that shouldn't delete it. Now, this doesn't really fix our actual issue, does it? Probably because I need to find it on an actual item stack, maybe? So I think I need to actually do it the other way around, don't I? I need to say fluid storage, the item dot find, and then I need to pass in the item stack and the context. I think that's why it's not working. So I think if I do that, that should work. And if that works, we can end the stream there, because that would mean, yeah, we've almost been going for 3 hours, which is longer than I wanted. So hopefully this will work. And once again, I'll have to get this off so you can't. Yeah, I mean, 1 hour longer is isn't that bad. But I am meant to watch a show with a friend at 11. So otherwise I would probably go for a few more hours, because I don't even feel like ill like I normally do. So I would go for longer otherwise, but okay, so let's just try put any item in there. Okay, so now I can't put that in there. Why are you winking? What? Okay. And then we're gonna grab some buckets. So we'll grab some lava buckets and we'll grab some water buckets as well. So I'm gonna try put water in there. Okay, that doesn't work. Now please say I can put lava in there. I can't put lava in there either. Why not? Oh my god, bro. Why not? I actually don't understand. Okay, let's try this. Let's try breakpoint that again. So, storage. Storage is null. Why? Why? I don't understand. I don't get it. So, if I go find, real quick, I just want to have a look at this. If I can't figure it out within a reasonable amount of time, then I'll have to give up. Maybe storages aren't registered for a bucket of lava? Like maybe they haven't registered bucket of lava as a fluid storage? But that just seems stupid if that's the case. That finds a stack. How? I don't understand. And the weird thing is, right? I'm doing it like this. The wiki actually just uses the context. I think it makes more sense not to use the context because the context is referring to the slot and the slot doesn't have the item yet. So by actually checking the stack rather than the slot, that should be fine. I don't know. Yeah, I actually don't know. So I'm not going to spend all night trying to figure this out right now. I'm probably just going to make a post on the Fabric Discord and hopefully someone knows what I'm doing wrong, which is probably something stupid. But I don't know off the top of my head and I can't even fathom a reason why. So I'll probably just ask in the Fabric Discord or Modded MC. Modded MC's easier probably, so I'll probably try there first. But and I'll try and figure this out. And hopefully the next time I stream, maybe tomorrow, possibly. I could basically stream whenever I want for the next like week and a half because I'm home alone, so I can stream literally whenever I want. But yeah, I will try figure it out in between this stream and the next, and hopefully when I'm back with you, we might also have the crusher and solar panel and those things as well. If I haven't been lazy, we'll see. But yeah, I think that's gonna have to be it for this stream because yeah, we've been going for like 3 hours now, which is longer than I usually plan to go for. I'll quickly answer this question. Why are you making a Minecraft mod for free? How do you make a living? And what has already been done in the mod? Why am I making it for free? Because you can't make it paid. How do you make a living? I do not. I live with my parents. And what has already been done in the mod? We have an alloy furnace. This. Oh. Oh, apparently we don't have an alloy furnace. What happened? This was working earlier. I haven't changed this. Wait, I actually haven't touched this. Get placement state with facing. But it has the facing property. What? On block, industrial alloy furnace is not allowed value. I kid you not, this was working at the start of the stream. And I don't think I've written a single line of code in this class. In this I'm actually baffled. And I can't even check because I haven't put this on GitHub yet. So I can't even check the Git logs. I am actually baffled. This literally worked. This literally worked. You can go back like 2 hours and 50 minutes from now, and you can literally see that it worked. I don't understand. Actually, I am so confused. How is that possible? What is it? I don't understand. It's saying it can't set the property facing, right? It can't set the property facing on alloy furnace because it's not an allowed value. But it literally is, because I've literally added it right here. Like, oh, because I was looking down. Oh. Yeah. Is there not? There is. There's a horizontal one. Oh. Okay, I was actually going to go insane. Thank you, Iggly, for that. I'm not sure I would have ever figured that out. Okay, that's good to know. That's funny, though. That's funny. Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this stream. So yeah, I think we've been quite productive, to be fair. And I mean, hopefully that should all work. Oh, hello, Browning. Yeah, you're a bit late. I'm literally about to end the stream. But yeah, I think we've been productive. We can't actually test if it all worked because stupid fucking fabric inventory slots or whatever. I will ask around and see if I can figure that out. Hopefully it should be something simple. I've probably just been stupid or something. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next stream, which may be tomorrow. Oh, Brammy, thank you for the donation of €2. I don't have alert set up. I need to do that too. Maybe if I'm not lazy, I'll do that too. I'll probably have to query Lime about that because that's the kind of thing he would know about. But yeah, thank you and goodbye, everybody. How do I end it? Once again, I've completely forgotten which button it is, so I'm just going to press this one.